2022.
Newly enrolled lawyers advised not to be led to instant fame by cutting corners.
And also coming up in this bulletin tonight, major crackdown in Western Libya results in detention of 4,000 migrants, including hundreds of women and children.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to News Hour live on GBC News. Your News and Governance channel. We're also live on GTV and streaming on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Micheline Taka.
I almost forget my name. My name is Abdullahi Mumin, and we are glad that you joined us here for News Hour here on GBC News and GTV. Now, in our breakfast story, if all goes well, the Kumasi International Airport would open for business in June 2022.
Now, the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, on a 4-day working visit to Ashanti, gave a thumbs up to progress of work at the airport. The $124.9 million airport project is now 77% complete.
The second phase of the Kumasi Airport took off in June 2018. It was scheduled to be completed in 24 months, but it was delayed due to the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. However, work has picked up with the firm executing the project, Contractor Construction, poised to hit the finish mark line by the first half of next year. The scope of work includes the extension of existing runway pavement from 1.981 meters to 2,320 and the aeronautical ground lightning system. Work on terminal is 88% complete. The air traffic control and the road network is 93% and the apron is 89% and the fire and rescue section is 53% complete. And while in the Ashanti region to inspect development projects, President Akufo-Addo said the Kumasi Airport is in line with the government's agenda to expand the aviation industry for economic development. Phase 3 of the Kumasi Airport involves the construction of the air traffic control building, an 11-megawatt substation and a fuel farm. About 8,000 passengers will be processed annually at the Kumasi Airport.
In other stories, the President Nana Akufo-Addo says there is more development in the offing for the people of Ashanti to give them a better quality of life. In gratitude to the Asantehene Otumfuo 32 and the people of Asanteman for their support during the 2020 election, the President assured that the MPP will continue to reach out to the people at the grassroots, get to know their concerns and act accordingly, hence his visit to that region.
President Akufo-Addo explained to the Asantehene that he is in the Ashanti region to express appreciation to the chiefs and people for supporting him win his bid for a second term as president in the 2020 elections. He assured Otumfuo 62 that the Ashanti region's show of confidence in him will be appreciated through development projects. He said issues that led to delays in the restart of the Buankra Inland Port project have been resolved and work will soon start on the project.
Many MPP among you could the chin and no yes you know what they are about beach. Namifria, me call, me Maka, actually won't say, Lolly, no, I saw many pa. The Juma Panasuri, and no, the ma as Antiman who sends so about it to Mamma, only Antoana Bantry. Any when in a preoccupé between and they do what they go pa. I'm saying, Kumasi Kwana and Juman Kwan, you saw bread in the breast of that. See here and say, oh, Yamamu South and Yama, a war, yeah, Bondi 1F, yeah, airporting, many coffee once and maybe do a semi do airport. 77% complete. January, only Beshas here, I test of the airport, Yampa, by June next year. Now, at the one crowd delay, Kakraba, who I feel, say, the other things, I don't know, I shall say. So, there are several projects.
The Asante Hine Otunfo said to urge President Akufo-Addo to lead the country with courage and leave behind a great legacy.
Come to them and go no answer no atwam as was the bit my men kopen answer I say ne kwan so answer say obetu approach wo mu anu no na so etie no de nani ehunu o say panyina mobo papa answer baby ate no ye beka de de ne ye ka chewo na wa pie say na akohunu no hu say enwuno na akohunu ye Baby, so echo ye no, a maware churches as I would deal with ye, Juma Papa, so, and Nina no, until no day. Santimamo dear, I go for ye, dear. More than a year, no 10 year. A moment, Papim, dear, and near Mapia, Cosso Papa, and Nunti. It was the Atiaka movie, it would give you homes of Yamai.
As part of his visit to the region, the president will inspect some 1D, 1F projects, senior high schools, and other road projects.
The Omahene of Drobo traditional area, Okocho Dom Sechiakon, has eulogized Ghana's first Prime Minister, Dr. Kofi Baffour, for being the only leader to introduce a clear policy for rural development. He therefore advised the current generation of leaders to take leave out of his book. Okocho Dom Sechiakon was speaking at the Buzia Memorial Lectures at Sunyai in the Buni region. Dr. Kofi Baffour, a renowned academic, was Ghana's Prime Minister from 1969 to 1972. The memorial lectures in his honor was instituted to perpetuate his memory and what he stood for, as well as how the current generation can emulate his attributes and achievements. Speakers included a Deputy Minister for Finance, Mr. John Kuma, former President John Baffour, and the MP for Teshiman South, Mr. Martin J. Mensah Kosa. The Omahene of Drobo traditional area and Vice President of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs, Okocho Dom Sechiakon, said the political and academic exploits, as well as the humility of Dr. Buzia, makes him a shining example to the youth of today. He said he was a true Democrat who had a deep respect for the Constitution.
As we commemorate Professor K.A. Buzia today, let us all reflect on what we also can do to enhance our society for the benefits of the present generation and posterity, such that in future we shall be remembered by our works.
A UK-based lecturer, Nanakusi Apia Buzia Jr., spoke about Pan-Africanism and how Dr. Buzia related to it.
The maximum institution that is the ultimate of what Pan-Africanism is about is to create one union government where the sovereignty of every state is subject of one entity before African Union.
Copies of the book about Dr. Buzia were presented to students from the tertiary and secondary schools who attended the lectures. The day was climaxed with the laying of wreaths and planting of trees near the statue of Dr. Buzia at the Jubilee Park in Sunyani.
In other news, a total of 278 lawyers were on Friday called to the bar, and the Chief Justice Enin Yeboah, told the newly enrolled lawyers not to be led to instant fame by cutting corners. He also said the integrity of the profession must be upheld at all times, especially with the advent of new technologies.
The General Legal Council annually convenes a formal meeting to enroll and call to the bar candidates who successfully passed the professional law examination organized by the Ghana School of Law after their results were certified. The new lawyers were told to be truthful to their clients, honest with the court, and respect for their colleagues. The Chief Justice, Justice Enin Yeboah, told the lawyers not to be swayed by fame and cut corners to betray the sacred ethics of the legal profession.
The good book in Proverbs 21 verse 1 states, a good name is better than riches. Please remember this Bible verse as we begin your journey. It will help you to avoid all the temptations and shortcuts that you are likely to encounter along the way. Resolve to be honest at all times. Remember that the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council takes action when complaints are lodged against lawyers.
The Chief Justice, Justice Enin Yeboah, said good lawyers were not the ones who always won cases in court. He admonished the new lawyers to resolve issues and provide solutions to their clients and organization without resorting to unnecessary litigation.
A great lawyer is one who is creative and able to think of reasonable solutions when problems and unique situations arise. Learn to think outside the box. Finally, know that you have today become members of a client-centered public profession and must ensure that at all times you work in the interest of your client, the public good, and the country at large.
This year's event had a virtually impaired person among the 278 lawyers who were called to the bar. Some students who excelled in various legal disciplines were honored.
Five persons have been arrested by the Bono East Regional Police Command in the Kintampo municipality for allegedly dealing in narcotics. 287 wrapped substances suspected to be Indian hemp were retrieved from the suspects. The Bono East Regional Police Commander DCOP Moses Atimbilong disclosed that intelligence gathered by the police led to the arrest of the five at Dawadawa No. 2, a suburb of Kintampo. DCOP Atimbilong added that the police had also arrested another gang of criminals in Techimai who were allegedly dealing in illegal ammunition. Over 120 pieces of ammunition were retrieved from the suspects. The arrest comes in the wake of a surge in robbery across the country.
The former special representative for the Secretary General and head of the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers, has advised the youth to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area and build on their entrepreneurship skills to create more jobs and businesses to address the high levels of unemployment on the continent. He was speaking at the MTN Pulse Transformation Africa Conference in Accra.
The Young Professionals and Youth Coalition is a youth-oriented non-governmental organization which aims at networking, transforming and engaging the Ghanaian youth on the importance of leadership and entrepreneurship. At the 12th edition of the conference, speakers challenged the youth to avail themselves and participate in programs that will help them build their future at all levels. The former special representative of the Secretary General and head of the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel, Dr. Mohammed Ibn Chambers, in the message to the participants, said with over 200 million people aged between 15 and 24, Africa stands a chance of harnessing an enormous active human resource to transform the continent into the elite of countries for the common good. Media personality Mr. Seth Kwame Boateng told participants to believe in the power of words and speak positively into their lives and their future.
Words are powerful, so I spoke. What are you saying to yourself today? You are here. What dreams do you have? Do you have any dreams? Where do you want to be tomorrow? Do you know it's possible?
The president and founder of Young Professional and Youth Coalition, Mr. Andiose Okra, in an interview with GBC News said Africa has the youngest population in the world and those must be complemented with an investment in economic and social development factors.
Africa can only be transformed when young people are given position, or not position, but participation, including them in the participation of our governance and our whole architecture. So that is what we are talking about. So young people here are here to develop their skills in terms of leadership, in terms of entrepreneurial abilities. That is why you can see all of them here.
The Young Professional and Youth Coalition has in the last 12 years put together programs and activities to develop and build a network of leading young professionals towards national development. The one-day conference brought together 10 African countries and a number of resource persons who took participants through various topics.
An 11-member governing council for the Institute of Local Government Studies to coordinate, execute, and enhance local governance and policies has been inaugurated. Professor Kofi Adakwa is the new chairman of the governing council.
To assist in executing its mandate effectively, 3 4x4 vehicles were presented to the governing council of the Institute of Local Government Studies. Low level of local participation in governance, lack of coordination, weakness in internal structures, lack of modern techniques and resources, among others, in one way or the other, face the country's local authorities. The Institute has charge over deepening local governance, decentralization, and capacity building for regional coordinating councils, assembly members, metropolitan, municipal, and district assembly members. With government's release of names of new MMDCEs, the Institute has a role to produce competent leaders capable of solving and meeting today's demands.
A district assembly shall A. Exercise political and administrative authority in the district, promote local economic development, and provide guidance, give direction, and supervise other administrative authorities in the district as may be prescribed by law.
The chairman of the governing council of the Institute of Local Government Studies, Professor Kofi Adakwa, said they will establish new partnerships and leverage on their existing efforts.
The achievement of Ghana's development agenda, and for that matter, sustainable development, largely depends on our local government structures and systems. And for this reason, it is important for government and all stakeholders to support this important role of the institution in our current dispensation. We will generously guide this role by becoming increasingly more efficient in the courses and programs we place on offer.
The members are Dr. Nicholas Awatri, Dr. Nana Mensah Abrampa, Mr. Kokro Amankwa, Mrs. Evelyn Arthur, Dr. Stephen Nana Atuata, Professor Imuru Brima, Mr. Akwesi Dako Boateng, and Reverend Mrs. Eva Asaribediako. The government is working hard to mobilize the needed resources to enable the whole teaching hospital to operate as such, says the Minister for Health, Mr. Kweku Ajiman-Menu. Since the hospital was upgraded to a teaching hospital in 2019, it is yet to receive the projected investment to enable it to function as such. When he inaugurated the 11-member board of the hospital, the Health Minister commended the hospital for what he described as its tremendous management of COVID-19. A report by Sarah Ofori.
The Whole Teaching Hospital, popularly known as Trafalgar, is the main referral facility in the Volta region. It was upgraded to serve the University of Health and Allied Sciences. The 300-bed facility has been in operation for the past 20 years, rendering care to thousands of patients from Ghana and neighboring countries. Yet, the facility in its current state does not befit its status as a regional hospital. When he inaugurated the hospital's board of directors, the Minister for Health, Mr. Kweku Ajiman-Menu, tasked the members to put the internally generated funds at the hospital to uses that will reflect its status.
Unfortunately, the anticipated investments that we were expecting to be injected into the regional hospital, which was converted into the teaching hospital, hasn't materialized yet. But we are working so hard to find the resources to see how best we can equip the newly converted regional hospital to a teaching hospital to a befitting teaching hospital in that part of the country. The whole nation expresses its thanks to you with your support in fighting the COVID battle.
The 11-member board is chaired by the executive chairman of the Holy Trinity Medical Center and former chief executive of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Felix Anya.
Our teaching hospital is closest to Togo and in Nigeria. We believe that one of the key things we've been trying to do is to get international accreditation towards medical tourism. And by that, we will have to, by this anchor, we'll have to kill two birds with one stone, create and have efficient service, and then be able to bring in the market money for development.
Other members of the board include Dr. John Tampuri, the acting chief executive of the Whole Teaching Hospital, Dr. Sylvia Diganas, consultant obstetrician gynecologist and public health physician, Mr. Felix Nyante, the registrar of the Nursing and Midwifery Council, Mr. Abdul Raul, the registrar, Pharmacy Council, and Mr. Enes Geu, a legal practitioner. The board is expected to ensure progress and accountability at the facility. Cyril for GBC News, Accra.
You're watching News Hour live on GBC News and News and Governance channel. The need to invest in the general well-being of aged persons to enable them to keep contributing to the development of the country took center stage as an event dubbed Aging and Honors. The occasion forms part of the initiatives to commemorate this year's celebration of International Day of Older Persons across the world. Aging and Honors is an initiative aimed at celebrating the lives of older persons in society.
Age in our part of the world comes with its own challenges: poor health care, improper nutrition, meager pension packages, lack of care. Remunerations after retirement are just a few of the challenges. To commemorate this year's edition of International Day of Older Persons, Arc Lifestyle Foundation, a non-governmental organization that cares for the aged in Ghana, with support from the Bank of Ghana, came up with an initiative dubbed Aging and Honors. The aim is to celebrate the lives of older persons in Ghana who contributed to national development when they were in active service. Deliberating on the theme Digital Equity for All Ages, panelists discussed how older persons can move along in an era of digital world, especially with the existence of modern phone applications accompanying cyber fraud and security. The chief executive of Arc Lifestyle Foundation, Mrs. Esteline Osebunsu, emphasized the need to celebrate the contributions of older citizens in the country. The former Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, a Member of Parliament for Aguna West, Honorable Cynthia Mamle Morrison, called for the establishment of homes for older persons where they can be given proper care.
We also get there. Home we neglect the daughter's hand, but we have to make it a national issue. When we can have homes for elderly people who can just only come for immigration.
A number of older persons from diverse backgrounds were honored for their services to the development of the country. Some older persons lauded the initiative. Arc Life Foundation, together with its partners, hopes to expand the concept and make it an annual initiative. Well, beekeeping for honey and wax is said to be a very profitable venture inspired by international demand for the two products. To underscore this, The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, indicates it is prepared to mop up bee products as alternative to the open market. Napoleon Atukito reports.
It's a field station of the CSIR Forestry Research Institute of Ghana. Location is Yeku, near Winneba, where the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, conducts field training in beekeeping for honey and wards. These hive products are derived as clean material and in maximum quantities once bees are raised and cared for in most professional manner. CSIR advertises its training programs in various fields to equip those who subscribe to the lessons with employable skills. So in my foreground are the images of bee hunters, those who are clad in protective gears that were designed by researchers, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, funding provided by Global Affairs Canada for the modernization of agriculture in Ghana. Here at Yeku near Winneba in the central region are trainees in beekeeping. Naomi Apia is the commercial officer of CSIR Forestry Research Institute of Ghana, based in Kumasi.
There is a lot of adulterated honey on the market, which is of concern to the public. But with Forestry Research Institute being a purely research-based institute, you can rest assured that the honey we produce is of very high quality. We are not only interested in producing honey and marketing it, but we also want to empower the youth. In fact, now the general public to be engaged in sustainable livelihood products.
The chief trainer on this occasion happened to be the Deputy Director General of CSIR Ghana, Professor Paul Bosu. He said there are about 20,000 species of bees worldwide, but only 8 to 10 of them are the ones which produce honey. Additionally, a bee colony could consist of 10,000 to 60,000 bees. In trying to move bees from their natural habitat, trainees were introduced to different types of structures for bee hiving. Another phase of the training is how to get into the tangle of wild bees whilst prospecting for honey. Now, the encounter between bee hunters or prospectors for honey and the bees is a very interesting one. It is a double-edged sword in the sense that the bees in that encounter discharge their stings into the bodies of their victims, and that represents a damage to the bees. But the stings that are lodged in the bodies of their victims then becomes a toxic matter for those who were attacked. Trainers and trainees shared their perspectives on the training.
Unlike the normal notion that if a bee just sees you, a bee like to sting you, I've learned that if you've not had any form of, if you've not initiated any form of attack, or you've not been any form of threat to them, then they wouldn't sting you. So I've learned a lot from the course, and I would actually like to venture the beekeeping industry.
When I came, I realized that what I think about it is different from what I'm learning right now. So I think the only thing might be that the finance, but since I was told that it's not that costly, you can be able to do the beekeeping.
Many people don't know that beyond the honey, you can also make money from the wax. And then there are other products. At the beginning, a lot of people just focus on the honey and maybe the wax. But there's far more to it, as we emphasized, when it comes to the pollination of crops.
The layman will naturally dive for cover upon sighting beehives to avoid stinging. But the scientists have devised a formula to tame bees so that prospectors conduct that business with minimal danger. Now, the production and commercialization of honey are thought to be very important sources of livelihoods income, and therefore prospectors are advised to dare warrior bees by following the prescriptions of entomologists. Entomology is a branch of science that deals with insects. Napoleon Atukito from a spot near Winneba in the Central Region.
In today's Citizen Journalism report, Raymond Arriaga from Dom in an Accra neighborhood has sent in this disturbing video of an overloaded electricity pole at the Dom market. The situation is so chaotic that one cannot determine which electric cable connects to which structure or what originally belongs to the fixed meter, with several wires lying precariously over one another. Take a look.
This chaotic scene in the heart of the Domi market is clearly visible to any visitor to the Domi market. This electric pole with a fixed meter is connected to several outlets. The concern of many onlookers is the fact that this is a recipe for disaster. As disturbing as the situation is, sellers in this area are not perturbed and carry out their day-to-day activities without a care. Even though the Domi market is one of the popular markets in the Ghana East municipality for both wholesale and retail trade, whenever it rains, the traders say the market becomes inaccessible. Conditions at the market are unsanitary, to say the least. Some traders display their wares on the ground, also a risk to health. Tricycles, popularly referred to as prajia, are also in the thick of things, competing for space with both traders and buyers. The construction of sheds in the main market to provide shelter for traders began over a year ago, but at a snail's pace. The metal sheeting used to cordon off the area is falling apart, the danger from which both traders and buyers are concerned about, since many have had their clothes torn and suffered bruises.
A labyrinth of electrical wires at Dom. That problem must be attended to before some chaos happens there. Now, in other news, the paramount chief of Asante Chimagogo, the traditional council and farmers will celebrate their second Plantain Festival next month. The festival, which was held in October last year, is being moved forward to run from November 11 to 14 this year. A grand derby has taken place to herald the event.
Plantain farming has remained the backbone of the people of Agogo. So in 2020, the Omahini of the Agogo traditional area, Nana Kwaku Sapon, introduced a plantain festival to celebrate the hard-working plantain farmers in the area and also to offer employment opportunities to the youth who otherwise would have trooped to the cities in search of non-existent jobs. The plantain produced in Agogo is currently being exported to neighboring West African countries such as Burkina Faso, Benin, La Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, and Mali. Agogo's plantain has contributed immensely towards the government's flagship initiative, Plantain for Food, which has led the government to introduce a program dubbed GCAP, Ghana Commercial Agriculture Program, a World Bank program to address farming activities in the area. The program is also a collaboration between farmers from Agogo and their counterparts from Colombia to step up agribusiness. The Asante Achim North Municipal Director of Agriculture, Mr. Eric Jumo, said recently 126 million metric tons of plantain was exported abroad, earning 254 billion old Ghana cedis in total.
As of last week, the body 126 million metric tons and a call a abuji. A 254 billion Ghana cedis.
Their plantain farming has earned them some awards. These include the overall Best Plantain Farmer in 1998 awarded to Nana Kwaku Sapon, 2020 Female Best Farmer Award, 2018 District Best Farmer Award, 2020 Ashanti Regional Best Farmer Award, among others. The Queen Mother of the Plantain Farmers Association and other farmers shared some achievements and aspirations.
500. As I made, I will for a baboon.
Na na ye nyina ye kua de hye woni monyam ye na taye chire. Ye he so taye chire. Se adwuma no wonti asoja fo ye, apopo ye, lawyer fo ye, doctor fo ye, adwuma na ye. No ma here kua kusako. So ni ko papa. Ah ko papa bia. Ah no so man ye adwuma ye men ye bo abudia ye bo dum papa.
The Mahine of the traditional area, Nana Kwame Akoko Sapon, launched the 2021 Plantain Festival.
Plantain Festival, no, every day, Sunday. November 12 to 14. In Damasi, Omra.
Seen some interesting happenings around them to continue to send your own stories will ensure that those stories yes, that's right. So keep them coming in. We just saw one of them from Don about that electricity pole. Oh my God. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll tell you what's happening in the world of business. Please stay with us.
The journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azer Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azer Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azer Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azer Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying on. 11% of women worldwide own land for agriculture purposes. In sub-Saharan Africa, only 2% of women own the lands on which they farm. To this end, a 6-month mentorship program to ensure that women are equipped with needed tools and information to succeed in agribusiness has been held in Accra.
Agriculture represents nearly 20% of Ghana's gross domestic product and employs more than 40% of the local workforce. However, compared to males, females have an equal access to credit in the agriculture space, as only 1% of women get credit for agriculture activities. to ensure sustainable employment in agribusiness for women, a mentoring program to raise awareness, train and equip women in the agriculture value chain has been held in Accra. A program manager at GIZ, Dr. Elstav, said their partnership with Gazakuza, trainers of the group, will provide sustainable employment in agribusiness for the women.
It's fantastic that we share the same energy and also objectives to collaborate together in agribusiness transformation programs, because that's at the heart of many programs. But I think we lack a little bit. This kind of stronger support will also in the end lead, hopefully, to the creation of new jobs and translates also into economic growth.
The project's lead, Madam Fortune Chain, spoke of the training modules for the women and its desired impact on their lives.
Train them, we mentor them, and we give them the opportunity to access funds to scale up their businesses. This year we have 80 young African women from 18 African countries who are enrolled in this program. The program runs for 6 months, and it includes the training, the online training, the mentorship program, and a host of others.
Previous participants in the training were given their certificates, while the new batch for the next season was enrolled.
11 commercial banks in Ghana have been rated a 5-star performing institution for meeting all standard requirements and benchmarks for customer satisfaction in the country. This was captured in the maiden report of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG's Customer Satisfaction Index. According to the CIMG, the index is a wake-up call for all financial institutions to enhance their customer satisfaction regime as enshrined in the regulations of the Bank of Ghana.
The Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, CIMG's Customer Satisfaction Index, CSI, is in line with the Swedish Customer Satisfaction Barometer and the American Customer Satisfaction Index. The first edition of the CIMG's index focuses on the banking industry and will serve as an important tool to economic performance, providing useful information for banks, their shareholders, investors, government, regulators, and most importantly, consumers. Data for the 2021 CIMG CSI were generated from customers at the premises of banking halls across the country. The 5 main dimensions used to analyze service quality were tangibles, reliability, responsiveness, empathy, and assurance. At the launch of the CSI report in Accra, the president of CIMG, Dr. Daniel Kasati, noted that the recommended cut-off point is above 70% performance mark, and anything short of that could easily lead to customers boycotting banks that fell short of the pass mark.
Understanding the behavioral intentions of customers has financial consequences, as it will affect your income statements immediately and subsequently your balance sheets. Each bank will also see how they performed against their peers and against industry averages. This is why you must subscribe to the report.
The head of Financial Stability Department of the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Joseph Franz, lauded the CIMG CSI report. He also called on commercial banks to patronize customer satisfaction by intensifying financial literacy programs to customers, as well as abolishing numerous fees and charges during transactions.
The Bank of Ghana has established a market conduct office within the Financial Stability Department, clothed with the responsibility of ensuring proper conduct of banks and SDIs, ensure that consumers and the general public are fairly treated by the banks and SDIs, and that consumers are aware of their rights and responsibilities within the banking sector.
In all, 22 banks were captured for the survey, with only 11 banks making it to the 5-star category, which ranges from 91 to 100%. 10 banks also got a 4-star bracket, which ranged from 81 to 90%, One bank recorded the lowest performance, thereby attaining a 2-star mark. The CIMG says CSI reports from other sectors of the economy is in the offing.
Time to take a quick break. We're back with international news. Please do stay.